if we choose the right container and the right plants and the right soil and preparation, we can grow plants anywhere. And so in deciding what to put in a container, first and foremost, you have to be honest about sun and shade. And lots of people say, oh no, I have sun, and they're on the north side downtown. And they don't really. They have a little bit, maybe from 3 to 4, or from 3 to 4:30, but that doesn't count. So a sun garden, or a plant that says it wants sun, means 6 hours of direct sunlight. Anything less than 6 hours is considered part shade. And anything that really is, 2 hours or less is considered deep shade. If you are honest about your light conditions, your garden will be 1,000 times more beautiful. I'll tell you a little bit about types of containers and things that we use. We all know the old terracotta, and this is great because it's relatively affordable, and they come in all different sizes, and they sort of remind us of our childhood of appropriate planters. They are probably the hardest planters to grow successfully in. The sun heats them up and sucks the water back out, so that you really have to water them a lot more often. Metal, like cast iron, that classic Back Bay, Beacon Hill cast iron, those work very well. They also heat up, so if you're in the sun, that's a once or twice a day kind of watering. Nowadays, we use a lot of fiberglass pots. Fiberglass will last the longest, hold the water better. Plastic also, now they have some very nice plastic pots. One of the key parts that I talked about is drainage. And then you want to fill the bottom 1/4 to 1/3 with drainage material. And that can be rocks, it could be a broken pot, it could be the plastic pot that these come from. Sometimes when we're desperate and we don't have anything, everyone's like, we forgot the drainage material. We would just cut that bottom and put that over the hole. So I filled this about 3/4 of the way, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way with soil. And then we know we want to start with our calla. You can see how root bound that is, and we like to let the plants know that they're no longer in a pot. So we open up the roots. If you don't, you'll find plants years to come that will just keep growing in a circle. And there's no advantage to leaving it all tied up like a pot. And we stuff them in there, like I'm doing now. And have to keep rearranging them, making sure that our roots are level, and that, like that ivy that I tore the roots, I broke it apart. There's no soil down there, so I'll make sure that I add some soil to it, because every plant needs soil contact for sure. You definitely don't want to plant them any lower than what you find them at. The height that you find them at is the height that you want them to grow at. And that's a common killer of plants, is when you plant them too deep. We like to have 3 different layers in plants. We like the height. We call those thrillers. Fillers is the mid-height, something that always sort of stays kind of bushy and a little bit lower. That's impatiens, begonias, and then spillers. So thrillers, fillers, and spillers, anything that trails. A classic window box, I wanted you to, because we all have window boxes, or lots of us have window boxes. This is so shallow that if I don't think I'd put rocks in here. I think I would just use a piece of weed fabric. Or I would cut the bottoms of these pots and just put them on top of the holes in 2 spaces, and then carefully put my soil in so I didn't shift those pots. But because we have the cool weed fabric. So I always fill it with a base layer of soil. I don't know that you can see, but I planted these at a zigzag. So 2 are in the front and 3 are in the back, because that way they can all grow in the different directions and fill each other out, instead of planting them like a straight line of soldiers. And in general, we do that with everything we plant. We have a slight zigzag or a slight alternating. You don't have to buy weird and unusual things. Sometimes the right application of the most common plant is the most elegant.
Thank you.